Recently, I published an in-depth review of the Galaxy Watch Ultra on this channel. Once again, this watch offers many new and exciting features. However, some of these features might be a bit hidden, so in today's video I want to show you some tips, tricks and hidden settings to help you get the most out of your watch. Most of the things I'll show you in today's video will also apply to the Galaxy Watch 7 that I'm currently testing as well, but in this video I will demonstrate them using the Galaxy Watch Ultra. So let's just dive right in, have fun. On the Galaxy Watch Ultra you now have a new action button, which is the orange highlighted button in the middle. You can use this to start specific actions immediately. For example, I have mine set to jump straight into workout mode, which is also the default setting. You can of course customize the function of this button in the settings. To go into settings, swipe down from the top of the display and find the settings icon. By the way, all these settings that I'm going to show you on the watch can also be adjusted on your connected smartphone if you find the watch display too small. To do this, open the Galaxy Wearables app and go to Watch Settings. Here you'll find the same settings menu that you see on the watch, and you can follow the same steps I'm about to show you. But let's get back to the watch. In the settings menu, scroll down to Buttons and Gestures. There you will see the action option where you can set what a click of the action button should do. As I mentioned, I have it set to jump into workout mode, but you can also set it to open the stopwatch, activate the flashlight or whatever you like. What's really nice is that you can also choose a specific workout mode. For this, go to the settings icon on the right and then you can select running, cycling, swimming or any other training profile. So if you mainly use the Galaxy Watch to track your cycling sessions, you can select bike here, and then when you press the action button now, it will start a cycling workout immediately. You can also set whether the action should start with a single click or a double click of the action button. Holding the action button for 5 seconds will activate the Siren, which we will talk about in a moment. But first, you can set shortcuts not only for the action button but also for the other two buttons. The upper button is the home button, so a single press brings you back to the home screen. By default, a double press opens the most recently used apps, but you can customize this to open specific apps directly if you prefer. The same goes for pressing and holding this button, which by default opens the voice assistant. Initially, Bixby, so Samsung's voice assistant, is selected, but many of you will likely prefer Google Assistant, which can be set here. Then there is the lower button, which serves as a back button with a single press, and you can change this setting to instead show the active apps. There were also some gestures for controlling the watch. One example is the double pinch, where you pinch your thumb and index finger together twice. This can be used to, for example, answer calls or control music when you don't have a free hand. Additionally, there is a shake gesture and a knock gesture, where you knock twice with your hand. Let's activate this one and set it to turn on the flashlight. And then if you do this motion, the flashlight turns on. By the way, here we can adjust the brightness using the digital bezel, meaning we swipe along the edge of the display, and tapping once on the display activates the blinking mode. If we press the back button from here, we return to the previous screen. At the bottom of this menu, there is also a mention of universal gestures. All these gestures we've set so far are tied to specific actions, but if you want to control everything on the watch via gestures, there are these universal gestures. You can find these in the settings when you scroll down under accessibility. Here you can make various adjustments if your vision or hearing is impaired, for example. For example, you can enable high contrast fonts, increase font size and much more. Under the point Interaction and Dexterity, you'll find the universal gestures. You can set what each gesture does, like moving to the next element, tapping, going back and so on. Here's how it can look like. Let's now discuss the Siren feature that I already mentioned earlier. This feature is also new to the Galaxy Watch Ultra. It can be used as an emergency signal in situations where, for example, you have fallen and can't get up, or if you're lost and can't find your way. To activate the Siren, just hold down the action button for 5 seconds. A 10-second timer will then appear, during which the siren will begin to sound faintly. After the 10 seconds, the siren will sound fully. And this one is very loud at 86 decibels and should be audible up to 180 meters away. As an additional safety measure, the Galaxy Watch Ultra also offers fall detection, although this is turned off by default. To activate it, once again go to the settings and scroll down until you find Safety and Emergency, and here find Hard Fall Detection. By default, like I said, this is turned off, so we'll turn it on now, and then you can customize the settings. If the watch detects a severe fall, it will automatically call emergency services. You can set it to do this directly or to require a swipe to confirm the action. I recommend letting the call happen without requiring a swipe, as it's better to have emergency services contacted unnecessarily than not at all in the case of a serious fall. You can also set a countdown timer before the emergency call is made, choose whether a warning sound should be played, and decide if fall detection should only be active during workouts or all the time. You can also set your information, particularly your location, to be sent to your emergency contacts. The Galaxy Watch Ultra can automatically recognize certain activities and log them as workout sessions if you forget to start them manually. You can choose which activities should be recognized. For this, again go to the settings and scroll down to Health. And here scroll down until you find Auto Detect Workouts. You can turn this feature off or select specific activities like walking, running, cycling, elliptical training, rowing machine and pool swimming. The watch also has an inactivity alert that reminds you to move if you've been inactive for too long. If this annoys you, you can disable it completely or set specific times when you want it off, such as during work hours from Monday to Friday, 9 AM to 5 PM for example. In the health settings, you can also allow the watch's data to be shared with nearby devices. For example, if you want your heart rate data to be displayed on a treadmill, go to Share Data with Devices and Services, and then select the appropriate device under Exercise Machines. This also works with fitness platforms or TVs. For swim workouts or even when just showering, there is a water lock feature. The Galaxy Watch Ultra is water resistant up to 10 ATM, meaning it can be used for swimming. To prevent the touchscreen from being accidentally activated by the water, you can enable the water lock. This feature is found in the control center under this water drop icon. Once activated, the touchscreen is disabled, so you can't scroll through widgets or perform other actions. To disable the water lock again, hold the top button for 2 seconds, shake off the water, and press the button again to resume normal use. To wrap up the settings for the sports and training section, let's take a quick look at our smartphone again, specifically at the Samsung Health app this time. There you can track your meals and calories, for example. Here you can click on Enter Meal and then select Lunch, for instance, and here you'll get a variety of dishes and drinks to choose from. You can also search for items at the top, and here you'll find almost everything. And then if we go back and click on Fitness at the bottom, here we'll find numerous workouts, meditation exercises, sleep stories and entire training plans that we can start here and then follow along on the watch. There are definitely some interesting options available. Let's move on to the watch faces. By default, this watch face is installed and I haven't changed it yet because I actually like it, but you can of course change it. Once again, you can do this with your smartphone, which might be easier due to the larger display. However, I'll show you how to set it directly on the Galaxy Watch Ultra. To do this, simply press and hold your finger on the display for a few seconds. This brings you to a menu where you can scroll through your watch faces from left to right. I haven't added any additional watch faces yet, but we can click on the plus icon on the right to choose from a selection of extra options. There is a nice mix of analog and digital watch faces, along with fun animations, flowers and just simple designs. If you like a watch face, you can add it to your selection with a simple click. Similarly, you can remove watch faces from your selection as well. And most of the designs are also customizable. For example, this default design allows us to click on Customize, and then we have various elements to adjust, starting with the indexes. To change these, swipe up or down or just click on the screen. For instance, here you can choose whether or not to display the north, west, south and east markers on the outside. Moving to the right, you can adjust the style, choosing between a simple black design or more colorful options. And like this, you can continue to customize various aspects such as the color, the hands, and you can also set what information should be displayed in the data fields, for example, showing sleep data instead of heart rate. A feature that might interest many of you as well is the night mode. Some of the watch faces, though not all, offer a night mode that displays everything in just red and black, which is easier on the eyes and just nicer to use at night. Currently this is set to automatic, meaning the watch will activate night mode whenever it detects that it's dark, such as when you are in a dark room or outside at night. So if I turn off the lights in this room, the watch will automatically switch to night mode after a few seconds, and it will turn off night mode when the light is turned back on. So you can leave this as automatic, but you can also set it to be always on or always off. Regarding the watch faces, you can once again also add and customize them through the Galaxy Wearables app on your smartphone. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see the option More Watch Faces in Google Play, and when you click on it, you will find many more watch faces, some of which may cost something as well. You can, for instance, click on the best paid watch faces to see the top rated ones. At the top, you can also switch to viewing free options instead of the paid ones. Additionally, regarding the display in general, there are several modes. I currently have the always on mode activated, for example, meaning that the display remains on all the time, though it will be dimmed when not in use. To conserve battery, you can disable this feature in the control center by tapping this little icon. With the always on feature off, the display turns off completely after a few seconds of inactivity, and then you can wake it up with a tap or a wrist movement. And then if we go to the settings and scroll down to display, you can scroll down here to set how many seconds before the display turns off, or if you prefer the always on mode like I do, how long before it is dimmed. This further conserves battery life, of course. And talking about that, you can also use various power saving modes. So if we go back from here, then we will find the menu item battery. There you'll find a power saving mode that turns off the activation gesture, always on display, and Wi-Fi, among other things. It also limits CPU performance and reduces brightness. You can also choose yourself whether to limit the health and fitness features like heart rate monitoring and blood oxygen measurement as well. Under battery usage, you can see which apps have consumed battery since the last charge. Further down there is a watch only mode as well, which displays only the time in order to really maximize the battery life in extreme cases. Then there are also two more modes on the watch. The first is sleep mode, accessible directly from the control center. This mode silences notifications and prevents the watch from waking with wrist movements to avoid disturbing your sleep. These modes can also be found in the settings under modes. There is also a theater mode which mutes all sounds and disables features like the always on display. You can set a duration for this mode, so let's say 2 hours, and after setting it, if I cover the display with my hand now, we see the always on feature is immediately deactivated. You can find this theater mode icon in the control center as well. And talking about that, you can add or remove symbols in the control center and rearrange them, like placing frequently used ones on the first page if you want to do that. And this is not the only thing you can customize. As you know, you can swipe from left to right on the main watch face to navigate through different widgets like daily fitness data, workout modes and more. You can customize which widgets are displayed by holding your finger on the screen, removing those you don't need and adding new tiles with this plus icon. For example, you can add a calendar, voice assistant, Google Maps or detailed fitness widgets. For example, I like having a tile for my saved routes, so I select it, and now I have an extra widget where I can view my saved routes and start navigation directly. You can also customize the apps in the apps screen, which you can access by swiping up from the bottom of the main screen. Some apps are pre-installed and cannot be removed, but others can be uninstalled by holding down the app icon and selecting uninstall. You can also change the order of apps and create folders by dragging one app icon over another. And then you can name the folder and even change its color. Again, these settings might be easier to manage on the smartphone. To do this, go to App Screen at the top, and there you'll see all the apps that you have in the app overview of the watch, and here you can also move apps, create folders and much more. For the end of this video, let's talk about some miscellaneous tips. To capture a screenshot of the watch, for example, so if you want to save an image of your workout data or daily fitness metrics, press the top and bottom buttons simultaneously. The watch will then take a screenshot. You will find the screenshot in the app overview, so if you scroll down here and find this red icon, which is the gallery, here you can see the screenshot you just took. You can send this to your phone, and further to the right you'll see albums, including one specifically for screenshots. If you miss the sound of a traditional analog watch, the Galaxy Watch Ultra offers ticking system sounds. Again, go to the settings and then scroll down until you find sounds and vibration, and then all the way to the bottom until you see system sounds. Here you can enable ticking. There is also an hourly chime and a few other system sounds, such as when the watch is charging or when you unlock it. The ticking is a very subtle, quiet sound, probably too soft to capture with my microphone, so you probably won't hear it now, but you can hear it when the watch is close to your ear, and yeah. Some might find this feature appealing as it makes the watch feel more like a traditional watch and less like a smartwatch. You can customize many more sound settings as well, so you can choose a vibration mode, when and how strongly the watch should vibrate, or which sound should play for specific actions, and the volume levels for different scenarios. If you find all these sounds and vibrations annoying, you can also mute the watch completely. If you've misplaced your phone, you can locate it using the watch. In the control center there is a Find My Phone icon, usually on the far right by default. Tapping this will make your phone emit a sound, helping you locate it. It also works the other way around, so you can also use your phone to make your watch play a sound if you've misplaced the watch. If your Galaxy Watch Ultra is running slow, it might be because too many apps are open at the same time and consume memory, similar to what can happen with smartphones. To free up memory, go to the app overview and click on the top icon. This will show all open apps and you can close them all at once. For a final tip, here is a very hidden feature. Go to the settings again and scroll down until you find About Watch. Then go to the software information, and here you will find the software version. If you tap this a few times, you will see a message saying developer mode enabled. If we go back from here now, you will now see an additional menu item called developer options. This menu offers many additional settings, though personally I don't really feel comfortable with changing a lot here. However, feel free to explore these options if you're curious. And that's all for today's video. If you found this video helpful or interesting, you could really support me and my work here by giving this video a quick thumbs up, and if you don't want to miss any more videos in the future, you should definitely subscribe to this channel. But for now, thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.